If you have foot pain now, heel pain, arch pain, pain in your big toe, bunions, just overall soreness in your pain years after your military service, there's a good chance that your military duties, if not caused, certainly accelerated those problems. So in this video, I'm going to talk about why foot injuries, foot conditions show up delayed in military veterans, and what a specialist can argue in a very persuasive Nexus letter to try to prove service connection and help you get a rating for that foot condition. I'm Dr. David Geier, triple board certified orthopedic surgeon, sports medicine specialist, and anti-aging and regenerative medicine expert. I help military veterans by writing Nexus letters that argue that your orthopedic injuries are connected to your military training and service, so you can get the compensation you deserve. This video is yet another of the videos I've been making about service connection, and I answer questions that I get from military veterans who live across the country. And paraphrasing, the question is simple: how can I prove in this case it was plantar fasciitis and bunions were caused by my military service? Foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, which is heel and arch pain from inflamed fascia at the base or on the sole of your foot. It could be pes planus or flat feet, hallux valgus, which is a fancy way or the orthopedic way of saying bunions. It can be hallux rigidus, which is arthritis of the ball of your foot, that big toe. Metatarsalgia, which is sort of a general pain in the metatarsals, the long bones. It can be arthritis of multiple joints in the foot. Those are all very, very common in military veterans. And you have to think, military service involves so much repetitive stress. Ruck marches, carrying heavy loads, running combat boots a lot of times, or doing drills in combat boots on hard, uneven terrain, long periods of standing, jumping, awkward foot positions, physical therapy, PT. There's all sorts of things that can lead to these repetitive stresses that lead to these long-term foot conditions. And then that doesn't even talk about the ill-fitting combat boots that have no shock absorbing, not good for the mechanics of those repetitive stresses that lead to microscopic trauma to the ligaments, the tendons, the plantar fascia, the joints of your feet. And that repetitive stress and overuse accelerates wear and tear over a long period of time. Numerous studies show higher rates of these types of injuries in military populations compared to the civilian population due to those physically demanding activities. And what's important is you don't a lot of times have horrible pain during service, but the symptoms develop slowly over a long period of time to the point that they progress to the point you need to go see a doctor and you find out you've got a degenerative condition. A lot of times in the military, it's not even really bad enough that you go to sick call. It's just this soreness. You take anti-inflammatories, you rest a little bit, and you don't want to be seen as weak. You don't want to let your team down, so you avoid going to sick call. But these problems worsen years later as the degeneration of those structures continues. And what you need to win service connection is you need a current diagnosis, more than just foot pain, whatever the specific diagnosis is: acquired pes planus, plantar fasciitis, osteoarthritis of a variety of joints, hallux valgus, hallux rigidus, metatarsalgia. There's lots of potential diagnoses. So a current diagnosis, some in-service injury or repetitive stress, and then a nexus, a link between A and B, a link between those repetitive stresses and then your current diagnosis. They may deny you, the VA might, for lack of service treatment records, or it's more commonly caused by the natural aging process. But a specialist with foot conditions, like an orthopedic surgeon, can argue that it's at least as likely as not, or even more likely than not, that your foot condition was linked to your service. That letter should argue how and why those military activities caused repetitive high-impact stress, compressive stresses, compounded by rucking and marching in boots and all of that, overloads those structures. The plantar fascia, the articular cartilage, subchondral bone, flattens the arches potentially, puts a lot of stress on the first MTP joint, the ball of the foot, leading to hallux valgus or hallux rigidus, damages the cartilage, leading to osteoarthritis. How that occurs, and shows the orthopedic mechanics of it, citing studies to do it, showing how the delayed onset and gradual progression is common with these conditions, that microscopic trauma as a young adult progressively advances over age, and it progresses faster than civilians get it simply due to the natural aging process. The gap in time is not impossible to overcome, but you need somebody to show why it develops over a long period of time, that cites how frequent it is that military service veterans underreport injuries for the reasons we talked about, not wanting to be seen as weak, not wanting to let the team down, not wanting to get put on profile or get demoted or recycled. Maybe incorporates lay evidence from you, from a family member, from one of your superiors saying you dealt with foot pain during service. All of that can be very helpful. Also, documenting your current medical records, the current diagnoses from your doctor, the x-ray and MRI reports showing these problems currently and how those repetitive stresses match up with the diagnoses, the injuries that you have now, showing the mechanics of that, the orthopedic mechanisms, and the scientific studies to support it. Maybe it's another condition like your other foot or an ankle or a knee that's putting more stress on your foot, causing that, showing and citing studies explaining the biomechanical link and how an injury in one part of your lower extremity leads to the current foot problems. That's very hard to win on your own, but an orthopedic surgeon can make that argument using scientific studies very well. You're trying to bridge or overcome any natural doubts on the part of the C&P examiner, and it can be done, but you need a well-researched Nexus letter, preferably from a specialist in that field, to do it. Foot conditions, because foot pain is so common in society, it takes a lot of work to show that it's more commonly caused by those physical activities. It can be done, but you need somebody that is an expert in that area, that works with patients that have those kind of problems and can cite studies that show how those duties, those activities, those stresses frequently lead to problems like what you have. So get your diagnoses together, get your service records, your current medical records, your imaging studies and reports, and find a specialist that can help you with that argument. Now, if you want to know more about the disability claims process and the common reasons the VA commonly denies, how you can overcome it, I've written an ebook that talks about all of that. You can get it completely free. Click the link in the description under this video. Please subscribe to this channel, click the bell to be notified when I release a new video and when I start my monthly Veteran Nexus Letter live shows where I answer questions like this in real time. It's a lot of fun. If you know you're interested in a Nexus letter or DBQ for your injury or condition, I would love to help. If you click on that link in the description under this video, get the ebook, but keep scrolling past that. You can learn more about working with me and working with my team. We do everything we can to make the process as simple and as quick as we can for you, and I try really hard to write a long, persuasive, well-researched, and cited with scientific studies letter that gives you the best chance of success in your claim. So thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to helping you.